I was classed as a madman, a charlatan, outlawed in the world of science which previously honored me as a genius.
Are you fed up with constantly searching for the records you want? Are you tired and frustrated from always straightening out your LPs?
This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Hello, greetings, and welcome. Welcome to the vortex. And I am the mouth in the center of the vortex. And, yeah, this is the Stereo 999 YouTube channel. I am the artist formerly known as Stereo Steve, and I'm coming at you with another one of these videos where I talk about records and try to make it less boring with cheesy special effects. I was watching a cat by the name of James Griffiths, and he did a video about Twofers. And I thought maybe I've got a few Twofers that I can talk about. That'd be a good vinyl community record video. They're not just any double album. They can be a 2-record set that is offered at a special discount price. For instance, this is Limo. This is one of the Warner Brothers Lost Leader double album compilations. I think this one is from 1978. But for the purposes of this video, a Twofer will be a reissue, double album reissue of 2 separate albums that are repackaged as a double album. I'm going to start with some jazz music. In 1972, when Prestige Records was first bought out by Fantasy, they did a series of Twofers. This is a promo sampler of the Twofers that they were releasing, specially priced 2-record sets. And the catalog number for these started with 24. Twofer, get it? White label promo collection. Now I have a couple of actual Prestige Twofers. This one is the Miles Davis Twofer. And yeah, the early 70s Fantasy Prestige had this green label. Anyway, so this is a Miles Davis Twofer. It's a 2-record set. And it is Cookin' with Miles Davis Quintet and Relaxin' with Miles Davis Quintet, both in a double package. Those were 2 of the 4 albums that Miles Davis recorded to get out of his contract with Prestige when he got signed to Columbia. So those albums were Cookin', Relaxin', Workin', and Steamin' with Miles Davis. And then he went to Columbia and did Milestones. So yeah. I got another one, another Prestige Twofer. This is Charles Mingus, and good stuff here. First disc is Chaz, also known as Mingus Live at the Bohemia, and the second disc is Charles Mingus Quintet plus Max Roach. This one came out in the UK sometime in the 90s. It's the soundtrack from Mission Impossible, the Lalo Schifrin. The original's on Dot Records. This is on MCA. What they did was they put Mission Impossible and more Mission Impossible both in the same sleeve and just kind of put them in there. The Simply Vinyl audio file pressings, because it's got a flyer in here for other ones you can buy. Going back to this Limo compilation, I discovered a band on that compilation called Deaf School. And they're kind of quirky English, kind of dry humor like 10cc, and very eclectic musical styles. According to the liner notes in Limo, they already had 2 albums out in England, and they decided for America to just release both albums in a twofer. So it's Don't Stop the World and Second Honeymoon by Deaf School. And what is interesting about this is that they released a 7-inch promo with 4 songs with the similar packaging and 2 33 RPM 7-inch singles. And these are actually, for real, the 4 best songs on that, so I listen to this a lot more. So Columbia did a lot of twofers. There's some I kind of wish I picked up that I didn't, but I do have one that I will show you. It's the Byrds' first 2 albums, Mr. Tambourine Man and Turn, 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 in a 2-for-1. Nice inside packaging. Which brings us to one of my favorite twofers. And this is a band that I have kind of a love-hate relationship with, because they have some of the most beautiful songs ever written, but they also have some of the cringiest songs ever written. And that is the Beach Boys. And Beach Boys in like 1970 or so got signed to Warner Brothers, started up their own label, Brother Records. They got to take one album with them from Capitol, which was the classic masterpiece Pet Sounds. So this is Carl and the Passions So Tough, which was one of their kind of hippie 70s albums. And when it came out, they packaged it as a twofer with a reissue of Pet Sounds for the second disc. And this is very overlooked. I see a lot of people who just plunked out way too much money for either an OG or a fancy expensive reissue of Pet Sounds, where this is A, not that hard to find, and B, the pressing of Pet Sounds, it's the original mono mix, and it's nice vinyl, it sounds good. So I highly recommend this. Next twofer. This is Robert Wyatt's classic Rock Bottom. Mr. Griffiths actually showed this in his videos. He had this also. It's, I guess, a late 70s, early 80s. You know, it's got that kind of green and red Virgin label. But it's Robert Wyatt's classic Rock Bottom, packaged in a twofer with Ruth is Stranger Than Richard, kind of lesser known but very cool proggy Robert Wyatt. That's weird. It's like these are both right side up, but the liner notes are like you gotta kind of flip them around. Speaking of Robert Wyatt, this is another twofer that gets kind of overlooked at times. But this is the twofer of the first two Soft Machine albums on the Command label, which mostly did kind of lounge music like Enoch Light and stuff like that, but put out a few rock labels, ABC subsidiary. And the pros and cons of this is this super cheesy cover art is a con, but the records themselves are really good sounding pressings, really good vinyl. Pretty much the same as this CD that has the first two albums on one disc, but you know, with the original artwork in the booklet. While I'm on CDs, I'll talk about some other CD twofers that I have and some kind of honorable mention twofers. Big Star, #1 Radio City. It's the first two Big Star records on one disc. It's labeled BGO Records out of the UK. Did a few of these reissues. Sometimes it's two albums on one disc, but sometimes they actually give you one disc for each album. And this is the Mellotron heavy prog band Gracious, and this is both of their albums, Gracious exclamation point and This Is Gracious, the second album with 2 exclamation points. And I was just really lucky to just be flipping through CDs and finding this. Another obscure band that has a nice double CD on the same label is Forest. Kind of British folk. If you are a fan of the incredible string band, most definitely check out Forest. You find reissues of their first album a lot, but the second album, Full Circle, is the one that really spoke to me, especially a song called Do Not Walk in the Rain. It's like one of my favorite songs. Here's a couple of honorable mentions, because this is Holger Zugai from Cannes, and it's Rome Remains Rome, and Der Osten ist Rot, which means the East is red, you know, communist, blah, blah, blah. But it's an honorable mention because they left out a few songs from The East is Red to put them both, to fit them both on one disc. So it's technically not a real twofer. Same goes for this Sugar Loaf CD, which I'm going to talk a little more in depth about Sugar Loaf in a future video, because people think they're just a one-hit wonder with their song Green Eyed Lady. But they're actually a two-hit wonder, because they had another hit song, Don't Call Us, We'll Call You. And this is supposed to be their first two albums, but they left a song off of the second album, Spaceship Earth. They left out the song Hot Water to make room for Don't Call Us, We'll Call You. Still a good listen, but it's, in my mind, technically not a twofer because they left the song out of one of the albums. And last but not least, this is not a twofer, this is a threefer. This is Kiss, the Originals. And this is Kiss's first 3 albums in one package. And so it's got kind of paper sleeves with the artwork for the 3 albums. And it's got like a booklet. And it's got 2 booklets. Alright. Actually, looking at this thing, there's actually more stuff in this Kiss thing than I showed. Besides the 3 albums, there's also some extra swag here. There's this kind of booklet. Fire. Then there's this thing. It was one of the greatest moments in rock and roll. Da-da-da. Not going to read the whole thing, but da-da-da. And this thing, man. I don't know what this is. Let's see. It's like some kind of... I guess you can like connect it somehow, make like a little round thing. Part 2 of the 4-part Kiss mural. Okay, let's see if it's got all 4 parts. Probably not. And part 1 of the 4-part Kiss mural. And part 3. Okay, so I guess it's 3 out of 4. Thank you for watching, if you got this far. And like and comment and subscribe. And yeah, I gotta get out of here. The vortex is closing back up.
That's it, I'm getting out of here.